All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the second webinar, part two. Our first part one was last week, and we certainly had a good turnout last week of people that were interested to learn about EquipMAX. And today we literally trying to do the same thing for those who are not there last week. And we're going to, deep dive into more of the details this week. Last week, we had like 1 hour, 30 minutes this time around. We added an extra 30 minutes because we realized that last week we ran out of time and we had a lot of questions during the session. And like today, we're going to do the same. Today, we're going to try and perhaps leave the questions till the end, or perhaps just take the questions on the chat, and then we'll address those questions. Please, if you're joining us for the first time, just put it in the chat where you're joining from, which country you're joining from. South Africa, I'm joining from Nigeria, I'm joining from Kenya, I'm joining from Tanzania, I'm joining from Indonesia, India, the US, UK. Just tell us we're in the US, South, in the North, Colombia. I know we had someone there in Colombia working for us, doing their internship with us. So certainly quite a variety of people that we've worked with in the team. Some people from India, some people from the UK, London, some people from Australia, some people from Cape Town and Johannesburg in South Africa. Am I forgetting some people? I think, yeah, we had quite a coverage of the world contributing to how we built EquipMAX. All right, so let's jump into it. EquipMAX. So some of you are asking yourself, why are you guys approaching, or why are you guys taking this route of giving away licensing rights to different countries? So if you're asking that question, let me ask you this question rather. If I were to give you Netflix, right? If I own Netflix and I own the whole platform, the infrastructure, from back end right up to the code of the infrastructure, right? Back end, not only the code, but the infrastructure level, the server side level, the whatever cloud server that they're running on, the RAM setup, the storage setup, the OS setup, the security, the networking, all the parameters, the rules of their security, everything about their server side, right? Policies, setup to the code, right? The integrations, the APIs, to literally everything about Netflix and how it functions and operates. I said, here you go. I'm handing it to you. It's yours. Would you take it, right? Of course you would, right? You would take it now that you know what Netflix is all about and what it can do and how much money they've made and how many subscribers they've had and the success that they've had. Like, same goes for EquipMAX. Rather, before I go to EquipMAX, Uber, right? Another one. If I would ask you the same question, if I would give you Uber, would you take it? Of course you would, because you know what it can do now. Before, people knew both these platforms, what they could do, and how valuable they can become in this sharing economy or access economy. People would have perhaps doubted, would have hesitated to even come to a webinar like this, pretend this is a Netflix webinar and be like, what is this about? Like, what am I gonna do with this platform? Like, is it really, worth anything? That would be most probably the question that you ask yourself. And last one, if I said I would give you Spotify, right? Would you take it? Maybe not if you didn't know about it. Now you would definitely take it. So my point here is very simple. It says this: EquipMAX is also a platform as a service business. Some of you may not know it. Some of you may know it now. It's some of you. It has been growing on you guys. It took a while. Some of you guys are still warming up to it. But essentially, it is the same business model. It's a sharing economy platform. Just to explain that, right? Maybe I made these examples and you didn't understand what's the relevance of this. So if you think about the media space, the on-demand streaming platforms like the DSPs, the digital streaming platforms, they are basically, they own the platform. They don't own any of the media rights or content rights that the producers own, and the film studios and the production houses and the publishing houses and whatever. So they don't own the rights, but the rights are licensed for consumption only, right? Per stream. So every stream counts for something, and then that's how people get paid. If your content or your series, your short film, your movie or whatever is streamed X amount of times, you make more money, right? Based on the volumes of streams. The same way that Spotify, also, they don't own any of the music, but there are record companies like your Universals, your Sonys. I don't know if you still have Gallo, and others, right? That actually Rock Nation that do those music producing, they do distribution, they do publishing and other things. So they license the music to these platforms. And if you think about Airbnb as well, something that is familiar with most people in today's time, or yeah, in today's age. Um, Same platform. They don't own only any of the properties, the houses, the beach houses, the holiday homes, etc. Right, all around the world. The rights, property rights of the accommodation or the property still remains with the property owner, the person who owns the house. But it's basically booked through Airbnb. So, in short and simple, what I've just explained is what EquipMAX is. EquipMAX is for anything and everything that you can think of, not only one vertical or one industry or one sector of goods or services. So think of mining equipment, think of construction equipment, think of agriculture equipment, warehousing, manufacturing equipment, and think of household equipment, right? Bring it home. Think about, simple, straightforward things like books, people that can lend each other. I remember, there was a spike around books and bicycles around COVID. Certain things that people were learning to appreciate a bit more than they used to before COVID, right? COVID actually made quite a number of other things that one had to realize that actually, I haven't seen this in a while, and maybe let me, dust off and brush off the dust and actually read this book. I haven't seen it in a while. So my point is that we've built it such that it can handle quite a number of things, and make it quite mixed category, quite versatile. Because if you're in EquipMAX and going on a date, you're thinking about what you're going to dress. Why not also think about what you're going to, put on as jewelry? Think of what you're going to drive to that date, and think of anything, just get it from one platform. And whilst you're there, if you're in business, you're looking at some construction equipment hire, You're going to look at one thing and you're going to see another thing, and then you're going to end up taking another thing and you're going to rent that. So we've built access to virtually everything that people actually need and want. Right. For why do we do that? For four reasons, actually, key reasons. Economically, it makes sense. Socially, it makes sense. Environmentally, it makes sense. Technologically, it makes sense, right? And I'm not going to go into the detail of that because of time, but just maybe overview on economic reasons would be inflation, price of living, price of petrol, price of electricity, price of water, food, anything that you can think of, like just makes it virtually difficult for us to actually consume the things that we want to consume the way that we used to consume. And so the whole sort of consumer spending and consumer consumption literally is changing because we as consumers are finding it difficult and under pressure to actually use the goods and services that we used to use in the traditional way of buying and owning it. Environmentally, makes more sense to have less carbon emission, less waste as well, less resourcing, mining and using natural resources and producing resources that are available, right? Um, because people sometimes use things once or twice in a year and they don't use it again. And sometimes you may even have something stored in your garage, in your plant, in your storeroom, at home, anywhere, right, that you most probably forgot about. And your neighbor down the road or in your estate, in your complex, wherever you live, may be looking for the particular asset or equipment. Um, I mentioned economically, environmentally, socially, same, right? As I said, spoke about community just now. People want that sense of community, that sense of, belonging and sharing, being able to, people not having this a community that's inaccessible. That's like you don't talk to your neighbor. You worry, you know, what are you going to say to your neighbor? What kind of conversation would you have with your neighbor? And you don't even, you need a drill for an hour or 2 hours. You know your neighbor just used it last week. You heard the noise, right, in the garage, but you don't this week go and borrow that the same drill. You go and buy it from Macro, Builders Warehouse, or Walmart, or whatever, um, warehouse store. And then technologically, the technology is ready for it, is ready to aggregate or, you know, have this platform working as it should for various reasons, for auto scaling, for autonomous services and systems, asynchronistic systems or synchronistic systems, um, and building basically all the services that you want to build into it, like facial recognition, AI, geolocation, and various other services that come in handy in the sharing economy. Things like even uh, running security checks and background checks and stuff like that through APIs, making API calls, insurance calls, and so forth, right? So I've said quite a bit in terms of why it works, right? Why we're here. Those are the key drivers. All right, let me move on because I spent too much time explaining that. But for good reason. It kind of probably makes more sense why we're talking about this. So these are some of the examples that I've already mentioned: accommodation, Airbnb, Verbo, transport, Uber, Bolt, Turo. All those are platforms, right? You and I, if we can go back a couple of years ago, 10, 20 years, and they said, here's an Airbnb platform. Here you go. Go and make money. Go and do business. Share it with your community, your country, and provide a solution that can help people at the end of the day. And people, um, as a byproduct of using your platform, they get to pay you. Um, all of us would jump at that opportunity if time would be reversed. Share grid for film gear. We work. Some of you have heard of that company before. Um, for business workspace, SME entrepreneurs, founders. If you want to find a hot desk, you go and use WeWork. I think in South Africa, we've got a company called Regus, which is the same. They're not paying me for mentioning their name, by the way. I'm just mentioning it as an example. Upwork, Fiverr or Fiverr for services. Uh, if you want to get like a animator or a graphic designer or whatever, you can go on Fiverr and get those. Many other platforms that I have not mentioned, but these are just examples. So EquipMAX will go onto this list as one of the examples that you can list virtually everything and anything that you can think of, B2B or B2C. Yep. Next, as I said, think I've literally highlighted the problem, which is two-sided. There are owners and renters that need access to equipment and assets fast that they cannot afford to buy the equipment for those reasons I mentioned, economic reasons. And there are owners that have idling goods, low utilized equipment and assets, just hogging, just gathering dust, just sitting there, depreciating, paying for the maintenance, paying for the space storage, um, basically losing money from not utilizing the equipment or the assets. So that's the problem we're solving for, and it's quite a global problem, not a local problem. If wherever you are, whichever country you may be based in, you will be facing this problem, or you'll see people that are facing this problem um, that are hoggers, or that are there's an English word I'm looking for, but yeah, people that just gather stuff. Anyway, um, yeah, silly. What's that word that I'm looking for? Like someone who is it a hogger? Or maybe okay.
Someone that keeps a lot of stuff in the basement.
Yeah, like anyway, like someone
I
who
think
just
it's a hoarder.
a hoarder. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So okay, thanks. So yeah, that's what we're solving for. Um, so I've already explained EquipMAX. Maybe let me just highlight some of the key features that we've focused on. So we built EquipMAX to, let me rather not, because Silly is going to talk to this for sake of time. Let's skip that. As I said, three groups of people. Asset owners, the people that have these stuff that are hoarding equipment and assets in their garage, in the storeroom, in their plant, in wherever it is, in their home. And then you have renters, people that are looking for the stuff for use, for whatever need or want, so that they can book it and return it to you safely. And then we have country operators who are now our partners as basically the head office or the global office. Um, so we're signing up country operators all over the world, and basically those people are partners. They're working hand in hand with us, and you guys, if you want the platform, and I suggest you really want the platform because, as I say, 10, 20 years back, if you give me the opportunity to get Netflix or Airbnb, I'd definitely jump at the opportunity. So the opportunity is quite valuable and open right now. I would grab it with both hands. Anyway, the point is that if you become a partner, you just take care of the client side and we take care of the server side and the infrastructure, the platform, the everything, the network, the security, the databases, the storage, and whatever else like that kind of makes up this whole sort of foundational level or layer. And then above the surface, which is, meeting with people, businesses, asking them to list their equipment on their assets on the platform. It's your platform exclusively in your country. These are all exclusive rights, by the way. It's not general licensing rights, whereby, you're going to have a license in one country and then we're going to sell that license to another person and then they're going to compete with you. And then, it's not going to be, great business for you because then it's competition. No, we're not, aiming to cannibalize each other. We're giving everyone a fair chance of owning the platform without any competition. Well, not internally, perhaps externally for now. The field is still open, for us to, as partners, run with it, run with the opportunity, make as much money as possible out of it, provide the solutions, most importantly, to the communities that we serve, make sure that, we solve both the problem of the owners and the problem of the assets, of the renters. So that's the story. I've already mentioned the categories. Right. So we're gonna demonstrate this for you guys, how to register, when you get verified. So we're not gonna do the verification back end, well, not back end such, but the admin side of things for security reasons. We're just gonna do the user access, not the super admin access, because we don't want, to expose the compliance, governance, and security side of things. But as a country owner, you would have access to that. That's the part that you would administer. That's the part you would verify your users that come on board. That's the part that you would check the listings that are listed before they are published. So even the user, before they can operate on the system, start listing, making bookings and all of that, you have the home affairs of the system. You control the admin portal, right? The admin backend, to make sure that you only allow the people that are verified, vetted, validated, made sure that they have um, authorization as they should. If they are not verified, authenticated, then they can't have access, right? So we're building a trust platform, trying to make sure that the platform is not used and abused and turned into something that we didn't build it for. Certainly, we are working towards making it better and better and better, improving it, and until it becomes something great. And just side note, you guys know, I mean, the other day I was updating my iOS on my iPhone, and it was the release of what is it? iPhone 26 Tahoe or Teho, whichever way you pronounce it. And I had to update like 20 gigs of whatever updates that they were pushing, security updates and other updates. I think it was the user interface and that, that glassy effect of Apple iPhone and the MacBooks and so forth. Anyway, the point here is that Apple still provides those updates, right? So I'm making an example because EquipMAX also is going to be pushing more and more updates to make sure that we tighten the security, we improve the user interface, we improve the experience, we improve quite a number of things. But as it is, it's world class. The standard is high. We've built it, using best business practice or best sort of development practice. Therefore, um, you won't find anything you that's not normal in the platform as a service world or uh, you know, software as a service world. that we haven't done or applied to make it work as it should. Anyway, so and then listing assets and searching assets, and be able to book assets on the platform and be able to pay and protect. So we have integration with insurance partners that can throw in quotes and split second into the system to give us basically what a quote for a certain item would look like if they book it, and who's booking it, and who's lending it out, who's the owner who's lending it out, what is their profile risk, what is the renter profile risk, what is the condition of the equipment, all those things, the value, amount, how long have you had this equipment, all the information, right, about the asset. In a split second, all of that that data has been moved between us, the partners that we work with, the logistics partners, the insurance partners, and other partners. So it's really, like I said, the four drivers, one of the four drivers was the technology. So the technology really just, is working with us. It's up to par. It's ready for us to do amazing things. And as technology, improves and gets to that level of getting better and better, so as our platform will also get better, because we like to regard ourselves as an innovative company. So we always look for innovative ways of making our product better. All right. So country rights would mean, as I said, um, you have been approved, basically a certain territory, certain country, launch it wherever you want to launch it. Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Botswana, Namibia, Angola, anywhere in Africa where there's opportunity, potential, and Asia, Europe, UK, US, wherever there's potential for people. Well, as I said, it's a global problem, right? It's, idle goods and assets are everywhere. And so it could work anywhere, right? So, but the only difference in our licensing um, uh, offers, right? It's how big the country is, how developed the country is. There's quite a number of things that we've looked at that we can discuss with you and come to some sort of a agreement with you why the licensing fee for EquipMAX would be this much for UK versus Kenya or versus Lesotho or versus Namibia, Botswana, and so forth, right? So we there's some logic in terms of what we do and how we put it together. So yeah, from your side is basically just building partnerships there with businesses, with owners, with people that rent, making it publicly widely available and just known, driving traffic to your platform, and we also help you, right, with that. But our core function is not driving traffic. That's your job. Our core function is just to keep you up and running, and you don't have to worry about anything. If you need to scale because traffic is, increasing, and you need more capacity, and you need more, stability, and you need to, make sure that you can handle the load. You don't have to worry about that. We do that, all of that for you. And all the workflows are built already, all the user journeys are built already, all the integrations are built already. And as it improves, it will just keep on training you, updating you, teaching you and showing you more and better things that we have introduced to the platform. So yeah, it is not a sort of like passive investment where you just invest once and you just sit back and you fold your arms rather. I would say it's almost that, but it's not, because You have to go out there and find the owners, find the businesses that are going to put listings on the platform yourself, and then make the noise about it, right? And then, Bob's your uncle. Become a Netflix tomorrow. You become like Uber. You become a Airbnb tomorrow. Who knows, right? You're turning millions and billions on the platform that you didn't build, right? It didn't take you 2 to 3 years to actually make sure that it's working the way it's working currently, and the code, and trying to figure out the workflows, trying to figure out you know the capacity, the infrastructure, the compliance rules and policies, all those things that we had to go through ourselves for you. All right, so we already spoke about this supply growth. You do that, you do the marketing launch, we support you, but it's not our core, that's your core responsibility. But as you can see here, nothing talks about servers, nothing talks about infrastructure, nothing talks about security, nothing talks about networking, nothing talks about database security, nothing talks about APIs, and all the stuff that I've spoken about. Okay, I've already explained this. Our side is on the left, your side is on the right. Uh, these are some of the revenue streams or revenue sources, right? There's commission, marketplace commission, there's service fees for your platform, right? This is your money. This is not, well, it's all our money. It's both our money. But some instances you take more money than us because you own the platform for your country. Um, Logistics, partnerships there, you take some for yourself. Insurance, you take a little bit for yourself as well there. Commercial accounts, you'll take some of the for yourself. Promoted listings like boosted premium listings, you'll take something for yourself. So it's quite a variety of revenue sources and streams that you can make out of it. So this is the licensing commercial sort of structure. There's the licensing or operating fee. There's the whatever launch capital that you're gonna. We don't determine this. Like, we can have a conversation, negotiations around it, what we think you should, but we really don't. We don't have. We don't force anything on that. Um, Unfortunately, the license operating fee is like sort of like a standard for each and every country. As I said, there is logic behind how we got to um, the licensing and operating fees. And then there's the royalty fee, which is a little bit based on the country. Can't give you the exact figure now because all the countries are different, right? As I said, because the opportunity is different. Some countries are first world countries, some are developing countries, and so forth. So every country is unique to its own. There'll be performance targets. There'll be a certain period that you'll have the operating rights, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, right? So these are some of the high potential markets that we've identified. Um, there's about two out of the six that are currently in negotiation, and the others are still open. So if you would really like to take the opportunity at jumping at, we'll tell you which ones have been or not yet finalized, but we are in conversation or negotiations around them. So, yep, those are high potentials. What the launch pathway or rollout path would look like, obviously, it depends, right? It will not necessarily take exactly this amount of time. We're estimating between 1 month to about 3 months for, making sure that you're the right person. We vet you and your company. If you're registering with a company as a person, how would you be using this platform and so forth? Are you, a legitimate, business or person and so forth? There's quite a number of things in terms of compliance and governance and so forth that we would look at. And then process all the contracts, process all the payments, process everything there that normally do when you buy a property or you buy a house or you buy whatever asset. That's the kind of processes that would be we would be going through. And then we give you the platform, right? We give you access rights, permissions. You create credentials, username, passwords, this and that. In order for you to have access to the platform in your region, in your country, and all the nice stuff, right? So that you can operate well, and then you build your supply. You go to owners, you go to rental companies, you partner with them, you collaborate. You know, in this world of ours, we're not competing with anyone. Like the same way, the likes of Spotify and the Apples and the Netflixes and the Airbnbs, they've opened opportunity of collaboration, not competition, collaboration, whereby people can bring it to this platform and the other platform and continue with their traditional way, still look into our way of doing things, our model, and see if it works for them, see if we can give renters access to the equipment, assets, and at the end of the day, everybody is happy because everyone is generating revenue and everyone gets to solve their needs and wants and projects that they need the equipment for and so forth. So we really, some people have been concerned about, us, disrupting the way they are doing things, and we are competition. We're not competition to anyone. We want to work with everybody, right? That's our motto. So that would be our job, and then growing demand. Marketing will help you with that. Partnership. It's a partnership. That marketing, and then handle bookings and so forth. That's you through your platform, and yeah, and then scale. Right, optimize operations, optimize your learning, optimize whatever that you have now you know learned about the platform and whatever else you're familiar with. Give us suggestions. What is your market saying about your platform? Things that like to improve, things that like to tweak, and so forth. Then we're open to do that with you, because we want you to be successful in your region. Strong feet who should apply. Well, we're looking for people that are builders, right? Not spectators, not people that are just gonna own the platform, then and be like, I own EquipMAX, right? Want people that are gonna, put it out there in their market. Make sure you find the right B2B partners to have the assets on, even the B2C people, and household individuals, personal, uh, equipment, household equipment, and so forth, DIY equipment, gardening equipment, um, lots of stuff that you can put on. Yeah, fashion, like I said, anything, except alcohol, drugs, and and yeah, whatever else that's illegal. This is not an illegal platform. This is not for money laundering or anything like that. So that's why I'm saying in the first month to 3 months, those are the things that we're going to be looking at, right? That you're not looking to get this platform to do funny things, funny business with. So we're quite strict on that. And then a weak fit would be, like I said, someone who just buys, does nothing, doesn't do a launch, doesn't invite people on, you know, those kind of things. Um, yeah, so these are some of the risks, governance, and trust, matters or issues that we look at. Fraud, identity risk. We have a whole process for, KYC, KYB, know your customer, know your business, verification, audit trail. So we do quite a lot in terms of audit trail. We've got user logs. We've covered virtually everything that you can think of, right? That's probably normal business practice, right? To make sure that there's traceability, there's tracking, there's uh, proper auditing to it. Support escalations, there's a ticketing system within the system that's built, right? There's also a WhatsApp chatbot that's built into it that you can utilize to actually, talk to us faster, quicker, to get a quicker response. Um, and we use WhatsApp for the asset handover. It's also a chatbot that's connected to our booking system that pulls the booking ID and all of that split second, right? Because it's connected, right? We're not doing anything manual here. We're using proper innovative technology and services stuff that we implemented here. Asset damage and disputes, as I said, using proper records, handover processes, traceability of everything, like logs, uploading images, checking from the last person to, to the next person who's taking the asset and so forth. We can really have just a whole trail of image, videos, and things like that about the asset, and use AI to analyze it on different vantage points and angles and so forth to make sure that no one kind of like um, abuses, uses and abuses, and is irresponsible with other people's stuff, and yeah, you get my point, right? So, and then we on the you know regulatory stuff of that country. We look at data compliance, locality, uh, tax compliance, those kind of things, where data is stored. That's why I'm saying from a server side, you don't have to worry about that. So it's our job on our side, like for South Africa, for example, there's POPI Act, um, that applies to data usage and where the data resides. So that's our job to make sure that, we make sure part of the services, there's a lot of services that are built into it. There's the images, the videos, the actual data of the IDs, ID copies, and the proof of addresses and the other stuff. Where does that data sit, right? And is it how secured is it wherever it is sitting? So that's our job, right? So um, that's why I'm saying, like, your job is not to think about that stuff. That's for us to think about, because that's what we do best. Brand quality, brand standards, our brand IP, our branding guidelines, and so forth. Those are the things we will be focusing on, and the standards to make sure that the brand is consistent wherever it is, the same experience, the same value, um, yeah, all around the world, is experienced, and that's why we handle all of that from our head office, which currently is based in South Africa, and then we support all the other countries from one sort of like governance point of view, at looking at the brand equity and the brand reputation, the brand experience, and the brand identity, and so forth, how you use the brand. But that's normally, obviously, like normal business standard. I'm almost done, Silly. So you're getting ready for the demo. And then, yeah, this would be our application process, expression of interest that you would show us. We'll do like an initial assessment, introduction meeting with you, right, one-on-one. We get to know you, beyond just the documents that you'll be sending us for the vetting and assessment and everything. Now we get to sit in front of you, and then we chat, we discuss, right, your intentions and so forth. Business and financial review, as I said, someone who, not only just will buy and then sit and not do anything about it. The platform, because we want only serious people that can onboard their friends, their colleagues, their associates, their community, and people that should benefit or will benefit from this platform in your community. Due diligence, that's what we do. And then we give you the commercial proposal for that country, specifically to the opportunity that's available. Um, and every country, as I said, is unique, is different. Then we have our legal agreement, and then we sign, and then we go launch, right? Or you go launch. Okay, good. Good. This is already covered. If you haven't registered, there you go. You must register for next week, Monday, 7 o'clock, same time. We will be doing this, doing a part 3 of the webinar series, or the Own Your Own EquipMAX series. Over to you, Silly. Please take us through the user sign up process, as well as the listing process, the booking process. First, maybe the documentation, if you don't mind. What's the time now? And then you do the demo.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that again? Network issues.
Like we did last week. I think, yeah, you may not change your way of doing things. Let's do it the way you do it.
Oh,
You did it last week.
okay. Let me share my screen quickly. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So hello everyone. I will be taking you through the user journey, the demo on how to use the website, and to show you the features of the website. So this will be your landing page. Here you can see our YouTube videos that will explain the company better, why choose EquipMAX and all of that stuff. And here we can create an account. What's nice about EquipMAX is that you have 2 types of users. Here, this is the personal account. This is just for an individual who is looking to rent equipment, for personal projects. And you can also using the personal account, you can also rent out your assets and stuff. And then this is the business account. This is for companies and organizations managing equipment fleets. So this is for your big companies who are just looking to rent out equipment. And as you can see here on the sign-up pages, this is for the personal registration. This is a generic sign-up page. You have you enter your name, your email address, your number, and your physical address, your password, and then you click all the terms and conditions, and then you click the account. After creating the account, you'll get an email, an OTP via email, where it'll verify your email address, and then you just type that in, and it'll take you on to your dashboard. Also, with the sign up page for the business account, it's also the same, pretty generic. It's generic because we didn't want to create something new. We want something that everyone will get used to, something that you'll remember. For example, like when you signing up for a Spotify account, your Netflix account, it all looks similar. So let me log in here so you can physically see what's happening. So you've logged in, and now yes, you've logged in. This will be your dashboard, your user dashboard. This is where you'll see your listings, the things you've booked, and then your user profile will be right here. I won't be tapping on that because there's some sensitive information there that I don't want to get leaked. And then, as you can see, we have pop-up ads there. That's for marketing purposes. And then we have the WhatsApp feature, which I'll get into later on. So let me take you through the list booking journey. This is where if you're looking for something and then you can book it, this is where you come, you browse your assets. Let's say you're looking for a vehicle, you know, come on here, you see your vehicle, you tap on it, and then as you can see here, you have the images of the vehicle where you can see how it looks. You see that it's legit. As you can see, there are no dents on the vehicle. Everything is legit. And then now here, rental pricing. This is the prices that the owner has set up. So you can rent it for daily, weekly, monthly, based on what it is that you want. So here, let's take for example for daily. Let's say you're renting it out for your child's matric dance. So you're renting it out from Friday up until Sunday. As you can see here, the price is calculated. And then here, this is where you get the description of the car. This is where the vehicle is currently situated. Description of the vehicle, it's just to check that it matches, the images. And then here, when you click book now, it will, as you can see, the equipment is available for your selected dates. Now, this is where you enter in your personal details, the rental detail, delivery address. This is where the asset will be delivered to. And then you enter the purpose of the rental, matric dance. And then here, these are the rental details. As you can see, you will be getting it on the 31st, returning it on the 2nd, And then this is the price breakdown. This is the rental cost daily. This is the platform fee. This is for using EquipMAX if I'm correct. And then
Yeah, so that let me jump in there and explain that one. The platform fee is the renter side, right? The person who's renting this, which is in this case Silly, he's paying that. He's paying us the platform for using
okay.
our platform, for us having the equipment for him. This is not the owner yet. We and the owner don't put it here, right? We basically have different categories and product percentage in terms of commission and all of that, which is varies between 2% to maybe like 15%, depending on the asset and the category, high demand asset or a low demand asset, and so forth. So we charge less for low demand because we want to encourage people to book your assets and equipment and so forth. And as a platform owner or country owner, you have the right to determine that commission yourself based on your region and your country. Okay. Yeah, sorry, you can continue.
Okay. So yes, and then you submit your booking on for your booking request, which will
Oh,
be then
sorry,
verified.
Silly. Sorry, Silly. Just to break
Yes.
down that price breakdown as well. I forgot. Protection fee would be the insurance fee that's pulling in based on the product. As I said, it's instant and it's dynamic. It's based on categories and products that high value or low value and so forth. So that changes often based on what you are actually booking. Thanks, Silly.
Mm. Also, like I said, the booking will be then sent to the super admin, who will then verify all the details, send you the receipts. Yes. And then let's go back to dashboard. There's a important piece of information I forgot to lay out. Here on your profile, once you have signed up, you will have to submit your documents, that being your ID documents, your proof of address. This is where all of that is done on the profile dashboard. And then now let's move on to the listing journey. This is when you you have a piece of asset. Let's say you have a drill that's just sitting at home, or you have a wheelchair, a ladder, that you'd like to like move out of your storeroom. and you want to like rent it out for people, this is where you come to add that onto the site on listings. So you add a new listing and then you enter the title over here, and then you can select the category of the asset that you want to list here, and then description. This is just a slight description of what it is. Or if you can't properly describe what it is, you can just write like a short piece of information, and then you just click on generate with AI. The AI service will help you describe it better. And then here, this is the specifications of the asset from length, width, height, the weight, and then declared value. It's the value of your asset. And then handling days. It is the time that it will take for the asset to get to the person who's renting it out. And then location. This is basically your location. This is where the asset where it is. And then pricing. This is your price that you want to rent it out for. And currency, just like we said, EquipMAX is a global platform. So we have all different types of currencies from around the world. And then after that, these are your rental terms. This is how the delivery
Sorry,
options.
sorry, say, can I jump in there? Just on the currency. So based on your location, because our application uses geolocation, it will select the default currency. So if you're in South Africa, obviously the default will be ZAR. If you're in the UK, it will be pounds. If you're in Europe, euros. Dubai, dirhams, Kenya, shillings, and so forth and so on, right? So it auto selects. If you haven't given, just go on to the where you can give access to location for our web application, silly, there by the URL
Yeah, I've already have given
permission.
access at
Yeah,
Michigan, so it won't change for me.
yeah. So I just wanted to show someone who wants to give permission, what
Okay.
it would actually look like.
Home.
No, the there by the yeah by the URL, silly, those two buttons.
Oh, here.
Where
Okay.
are you? No, no, no. On the left, far left. Yeah, there. Yeah, click there. Location. There it is. So you see that boiling there. That boiling, if it's like that blue, it means you've already given it. But if you turn it off, still, can you turn it off? Yeah, if it's like that, then it means that you haven't given it permission. But now, obviously, because the data is already cached, it will stay ZAR because your location was already given. You can go back, give it permission again and
Well,
continue. Yeah, okay, thanks.
so we were at rental terms. These are the terms in which that you want to rent out your asset. And then damage policy, these are like the steps that you want to take, or like for example, if your asset is damaged whilst it's being rented out, these are the steps that you'd like to take to resolve the issue. And then here, these are this is where you load the images of your asset, just like everybody else who has listed their equipment. Or onto the features. Like like I've said before, there's a WhatsApp feature. Here, if you can just tap here on this WhatsApp feature, it will take you to WhatsApp. Now, this is where you will be speaking to one of our agents who will, help you out if, let's say, you have uh an error. Let's say you entered you submitted the wrong documents and you'd like to get that fixed. That's where you can reach us. Or you need help with adding a new listing, that's where you can reach us on WhatsApp. Do you have a time? Can
Yeah.
I?
Can you just show the ticketing feature as well,
Okay.
and help and support?
This is where you launch. This is where you also enter your tickets. So if you don't want to use the WhatsApp feature, you can come here. You can create a new ticket, issue, where an error you encountered on the website and you'd like for us to fix it. This is where you can communicate with us. Yes. And then can I move on to the calculator? We have time, right?
Yeah, you still have time.
Okay. So now this is our idle equipment calculator. This is where you can calculate like a projected amount, estimated amount of income you can make with the equipment that you have sitting at home. It's sort of like, yeah, sort of like a, yes, a projector. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here you enter in the type of equipment that you want to enter for sake of the demo. Here we have a generator, and it is valued at 250,000 rands. So at the moment, as you can see here, this is the gross monthly income you'll be making. This is before the EquipMAX commission and owner costs. Owner costs being your insurance, maintenance, of the piece of equipment. These are the net monthly earnings, money that you'll be earning. And then this is the net annual earnings. And then this is your payback period. This is like an estimation of how many months it will take you to get back on the value of your equipment. But all of this data here is subject to these details that you'll be entering in here. So days available for rental. So let's say this is how many days, this is how many days during the month your equipment will be available. So let's say it's 30 days and you're expecting your equipment to be booked 6 or 7 times during that month. And then this is the expected rental amount rate per day. And then these are the adjusted book days. Now these cost detail, this is your cost as the owner. This is your monthly maintenance cost. So this is when you take your asset for servicing, your generator to get serviced. This is the insurance that you have on your generator. And then this is the cleaning and preparation cost per booking. So like going to get it clean. So let's say you rented it out to someone and then it came back dirty. This is how much you estimate it will cost you to get it cleaned up again. And then these are estimated bookings per days. As you can tell here on the graphs, this all changes. And then delivery, logistics, cost responsibility. This is where, so here, you as the owner can choose if the renter pays for the equipment to be delivered to them, or you can pay for the delivery, or that will be shared between the two of you. And then here, this is the EquipMAX platform fee. We have 10% commission on the equipment that you have, on the equipment that you list on the platform.
Yeah, which can be adjusted, right? So that's
Yes,
not a
yes, yes,
fixed amount.
yes.
It's based on the category.
Yes, it's based on your category.
Yeah.
So this just shows you that um, if your equipment stays idle and you're not putting it on EquipMAX, this is how much you're making. And then if it's listed on EquipMAX, this is how much you could be making. And then here, this is where you can get all of you can get all of this in the form of an email. And at the same time, you can get you reach our support team where they can help you, whether if you want to list your equipment or you want to get like a realistic amount of pricing on your equipment, or you just want to speak to EquipMAX for other reasons, you know. So yes, that
Well done.
is that is the user journey.
Yeah, that's all the user journeys except the payment and the handover journey that we won't show for security reasons. Um, and that basically is quite simple as well, because once you make the booking, you get a link to pay. Then you facilitate that payment using whatever form of payment that you want to use. And then the booking ID is to you, and then you can handle it um, via WhatsApp, as I said. And all the basically pictures are loaded by the owner of the assets before they send it out, and how they prepared it, how they wrapped it, how they boxed it, so that when the courier goes to collect, because for security reasons, owners and renters don't go and collect from one another, because there have been many instances in other platforms that we know of that people have breached other people's privacy and security, and done things that criminal. So we don't want any criminal activity. Therefore, hence we have a third party, which is a courier, to collect and deliver and return goods and assets to the owners and to the renters and back to the owners when they need to be returned. So the images are uploaded onto our WhatsApp journey, book handover journey from the owner, and then once the courier picks up and it gets to the renter side, the renter in within 24 hours needs to confirm what they've received, take pictures as well and videos, upload same to the same WhatsApp channel using the same booking ID. And all of that info. If there is a dispute, raise a dispute inside the WhatsApp, right? And Silly showed you even the ticketing platform within EquipMAX where you can raise a ticket. But the quicker option would be using that WhatsApp. Raise the issue. There's dents and scratches, and maybe this thing is not working as it was promised. Um, and there are a few issues about or with the asset or the equipment, and then that's raised with us back office. We raise it with the owner, and that booking basically is will be paused, put on hold, and until the owner can give us a solution, replace it perhaps if they can replace it if they have another one, or return it back to them. And we hold the money at the moment. The owner doesn't get paid until the renter is happy about everything that they got, and whether it's in good working condition as they said it would be. And if there is an issue, they raise it. If they use it happy for the duration that they've rented it for, now they're sending it back. They take pictures, upload it on the WhatsApp channel, using the same ID, booking ID, sending it back to the owner, collected by the courier again, sent back. Owner gets it that side now. The roles are reversed. The owner now is taking pictures and uploading the pictures and the video as well, saying, hey, this guy is, good and responsible with other people's stuff. I would rate him a 5 star. Um, you know, give him nice review. If he damaged it or he scratched it or he broke it and returned not in working condition, but he got it in working condition and he worked with it, and then when he returns it, now it's not working. Now he raises it with us, and then if you would have seen there when it was booked, there's a security deposit that's being uh, reserved from our side. And that security deposit is also determined by the owner. Um, in case, and Silly mentioned there was a blog he was talking about the damage policy there and so forth. Um, those are owners' wishes, right? If you would damage this or if you would do this to this, this is what I want or whatever. And from our side, we would help with the insurance fee that was added onto your booking, as well as the security deposit that we still hold um, to help the owner to get back to ideally, hopefully, the original position where they were at, having a working product and asset or equipment. If we don't quite get there, we almost want to get there, closer to it. Um, and naturally, that's what happens with any sort of rental company. They try and get back or get you back to their original status or point of before lending the asset to you where they were. So that's always our effort. And I'm summarizing now just to end off the webinar session that we've had. So our wish is that each and every country could have this for all these reasons that we've spoken about in the beginning when we did our introduction about, if someone could have said to me, Brian Chesky, one example, guy from Airbnb, one of the founders, hey, Luiso, here's an opportunity. Come join me, become partner of Airbnb. Before it was what it was, right? And here's a small fee that you need to pay in order for you to be partner. Most probably I would have said, no, I don't have the money. Or if I had the money, I'm like, okay, I can lose this money. Let me, give it a gamble. Let me take a risk and see the way it puts us. And fast forward, I would be in a great place, right? I would be smiling like all of them that they are smiling now, all the way to the bank. And likewise with Uber, Spotify, Airbnb, Apple, WeWork, um, and Netflix, I've already mentioned, Amazon Prime, all these platforms that I've spoken about, ShareGrid, Verbo, BoatSet. There's a couple, right, that are vertical specific, either to cars or automotive industry, property accommodation, hospitality, books, cycling. There's a couple in cycling companies. If you go to, the coastal line in Cape Town, by, Camps Bay, Ladano, and those kind of areas, you can hire, bicycles there and so forth. So there's a couple of, platforms that um, one vertical specific. But in our case, we think the world is moving towards a more mixed category, a specific platform, as we also have noticed that Airbnb is starting to introduce more options, right? Especially services, chef, grocery shopping. Uh, I don't know what's the stuff that they've introduced, but I'm noticing that they are now opening it up to various other products and services that can be offered through Airbnb. And those are some of the lessons that we've learned as well. And we can go on and on until tomorrow about the sharing economy. It's quite interesting topic to discuss. There's been many books that have been read about, articles about sharing or access economy, where it's going in the next century, 100 years, where we think we will be, as far as the economic factors that drive us towards a more access versus ownership uh, consumer model, um, from a spending and from a consumption point of view. So we really just think this is a great time, great opportunity for those partners that are interested in getting the platform for themselves, as behavior of the customer is changing, as attitudes of the customer is changing, as interests are changing, influenced by these things that I've mentioned in the intro of this webinar. Um, Mainly, it's the economic drivers. I think mostly you'll find that even in the construction or mining industry, one of the key challenges sometimes to get a project going is the cost of equipment, right? Or the cost of capital financing to actually finance the equipment, which becomes sort of a challenge, especially if you haven't been paid yet. You're gonna have to get to work first and then get paid, right? And if you don't have the finances, or a rich family or friends or anything like that, support from government or support from wherever to actually finance that equipment, then you're in trouble, right? What do? You look onto platforms like us, and you may have an owner that has the same TLB that you're looking for, the same excavator or tipper truck or whatever, right? That is not being put into use, but you don't know, right? Because there is no platform that's telling you that, hey, go look there, go and see if there's an owner that completed a project last week and would love to make money out of their equipment, um, for a fraction of the amount that you would have paid if you go and finance it through the bank and pay interest and pay for storage, pay for uh, all the other things that come with it. So we literally just a platform that looks out for the people that cannot afford ownership, and also want to be wiser in how they approach projects and how they approach access to the equipment for various reasons. Maybe it's a short-term project, it's not a long-term project. Why would you get yourself into a financial commitment obligation for long term for something that's short? So in summary, that is the logic around EquipMAX. And that's why we're inviting people who are interested in investing in a platform like this. Um, uh, One takeaway or one benefit for you, I can tell you now, it's not going to take you 2, 3 years to build the platform like it did for us. And you're not going to, go into a lot of debt just focusing on the product and building it, and, trying to fix bugs and trying to understand the whole thing, and all the other stuff that goes into compliance, security, rules, policies. So it's a plug and play. Invite your worlds, come onto the platform. Let's all partner, make access available to everybody, um, for whatever needs and wants that they have. All right, cool. So we're going to end it there for today. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. Really appreciate your time. Hopefully, we'll see you in part 3 next week. Same time, same place. We'll send out the links to register. Register on the link, and you'll get the webinar link so that you can join. if you have any questions, the guys that are on the call would be able to just give us those questions, and then we'll reply and so forth. And yeah, and we'll share this video also on other socials, so that people can share it with other people that would like to see it. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Bye bye. Bye, Silly.